Hello everyone, back to today's third video. So we're going to have a look at weather for the next week to 10 days for today's third video. 10 days of change really. The first half of it will be dominated by high pressure and unusually warm conditions, and then a gradual change looks like it's going to be arriving in around a week's time, maybe a little bit before that, but in around a week's time looks like a slow change to more unsettled conditions taking us through the first week or so of March. And we'll discuss that in today's third video update. So we've already released weekend forecast, always on a Saturday, your weekend weather forecast weekend. Pretty historic one again, one to look back on, I think, this week, because it's going to be very warm, and usually warm temperatures coming up from now through to around Wednesday. So have a look at that and see what's going on. And also the first video up today was the final seasonal model roundup for the spring 2019. So we get 13 long range models together, see what they're all showing for the spring. And bit of a mixed bag, but overall there is a trend there. Have a look at that and see what they are showing. That, of course, is ahead of the spring forecast being released a week tomorrow, Sunday the 3rd of March. That video will be placed on the spring updates, the forecast page, with a written summary going over everything we discussed in the video later on today, probably around 6-7 o'clock this evening. Right, so we're going to start off with latest observations from XC Weather. Another really warm afternoon out there once again. Do get out and enjoy it if that's what you want. So at the moment we've got 17 degrees as our maximum temperature. We can see them flashing away there. So the first place that's up to 17 degrees is Northolt Airport, up to 17 degrees right now. And then the second place that's flashing away is up in the northwest of England. Carlisle is flashing away at 17 degrees. That's our high at the moment. Other areas are very warm. East Midlands Airport at 13 degrees. Wellersbourne Airfield at 14 degrees. Bryce Norton up to 15 degrees. Bedford up to 16. Remarkably warm temperatures again. Watchisham up to 14 degrees Celsius. And on it goes. Boscombe down to 15. It is a little bit cooler in some areas, so 7 degrees is our low at the moment. That's at in the Berthy, in the southeastern corner of Scotland, right there on the North Sea coast. I assume they are probably plagued with low cloud and fog. And it's not as warm across Northern Ireland either, only 11 degrees at Belfast. Across Wales, not as warm as it was yesterday. Real is up to 15 degrees Celsius right now, so still doing pretty good. But yesterday we did see temperatures a couple of degrees higher than that. But this is another remarkably mild, if not warm day across most parts of the country. We're going to see more of this over the next few days. In fact, Monday and Tuesday could well see the temperature going even higher. So that all-time February maximum temperature record of 19.7 degrees set in February 1998. It might be under some threat on Monday or Tuesday, but we'll keep you posted. Now, obviously, while all this is going on, CET is rocketing. So this is where we're currently sitting with the central temperature provisional to yesterday, 22nd of February. We're now on 6.4 excuse me, degrees, an anomaly of 2.7 degrees above average. But it's going to go up even further over the next few days. So I really think we're in with a chance of getting Mr. 7.0, 7 degrees for our CET, which would be the warmest February since 2002. Very remarkable times. But changes are on the way. So these are the 500 millibar height anomaly flowcharts from the Penn State University. We've got the ECMWF here on the top, and the GFS, which we will have a look at in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars is an area in the actual high pressure, low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream. Blue is extrapolating to below average heights, which is low pressure, yellow, orange and red, extrapolating to above average heights, which is high pressure. So in the 7 to 10 day time frame, and this will take us to around the 3rd or 4th of March, we find that we've got these areas of below average heights sitting out to the west of us and we're bringing in these westerly winds as well. So it looks pretty unsettled as we're going into 7 to 10 day time frame. We have got a little bit of ridging across central parts of Europe and to our south, but the ECMWF does look quite unsettled in the week to 10 day time frame. Now this is for GFS, it's very similar, but there is a subtle difference. So we've still got this area below average heights out to the west of us in the Atlantic, but the difference is that ridge across Europe, that ridge is stronger with the GFS. It's not going as far south and east as the ECM has it, which means in the 7 to 10 day time frame, although it is rather more unsettled, yes, it's not as unsettled as the ECMWF, and we have still got some influence from that ridge of high pressure. Just how much we remove this high pressure, just how much we weaken it and bring low pressure in off the Atlantic remains to be seen. I am a little bit dubious about this. I'm going to show you the charts in a moment. They are going to look quite unsettled. But I'm still just a little bit dubious about how we're getting rid of this high pressure, whether we do actually get rid of it in the end. It could be that we just have a short interruption of more unsettled conditions, and then the high pressure kind of builds back quite quickly. That has been the trend since last summer. So we're just going to have to wait and see, but the GFS definitely has that high pressure a little bit closer to us in the 7 to 10 day time frame compared to the ECM. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. We're at Colwyn Bay today, so this is another suggested place on our list of locations for this section of the video. If you'd like to see your location featured in the videos, then just drop us a note, message us on our social media pages, or email us, however you want to do it, and let us know where you would like to see within this part of the video. So looking at Colwyn Bay today, red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Colwyn Bay. We're well above average at the moment. Temperatures are going to increase even more through to the early part of next week. Remarkably warm, getting to 10 Celsius at 850 HPA. When we get that in the middle of summer, we're talking about temperatures to around 25, 26 degrees. They'll be into the mid to upper 70s Fahrenheit. Of course, it's only February, so not going to go that warm. But those are remarkably mild upper air temperatures. That is the peak. And then we see the upper air temperatures gradually lowering. It's a slow old process to get them back to average. So the dates are on the bottom of the chart. The peak for this winter heat wave is going to be around the 25th, 26th of February. And it's not really until we get through to around the 5th of March now that we find the upper air temperatures getting back to average. So this is a very, very, very slow decline in the temperature. Just day by day we'll shave a degree or so off every day from around Wednesday onwards, so that by the time we get through to the opening days of March, we are back to average and looking quite a lot cooler. And then that's where we stay as we go from the first week into the second week of March. Also more unsettled. Bear in mind this is going to be quite a wet place. Colwyn Bay will be exposed to the Atlantic and to the Irish Sea. So for eastern and southeast parts of the country, it won't necessarily be as unsettled as this is showing. But it is a suggestion that there's still the idea of unsettled conditions returning. So for the next week or so, loads of dry weather, barely any measurable recorded rain at Colwyn Bay. But then from around next weekend onwards, it's getting more unsettled. Precipitation spikes are coming back. They're quite large precipitation spikes as well, so once the rain starts, it does look as though it could be quite heavy. But again, this is kind of like a week away, sort of days 8, 9, 10, and it's just not in the reliable time frame of the models. Once we start seeing these big precipitation spikes appearing in sort of this section of the chart, then I think we'll be able to have a little bit more confidence in it. But as long as these precipitation spikes remain in this part of the chart, I think again we just need to stay cautious, due primarily to just the sheer persistence of high pressure over the past few weeks and months. On face value, it looks like temperatures are peaking on Monday and Tuesday, gradually dropping into the start of March, returning to average through the first week of March, and becoming a lot more unsettled through the first week of March as well. That is still clearly the trend within the GFS ensembles, but caution remains the key word on this. Temperature anomalies for the next week from the 23rd of February to the 3rd of March, much milder than average, much warmer than average week coming up. Precipitation anomalies still dry. So from the 23rd of February to the 3rd of March, much drier than average, particularly so for England and Wales. This is the latest GFS operational run, this 6 o'clock run for GFS Tuesday, dominated by high pressure and bringing up warm air from the south. The high pressure only gradually slips and declines to go through to the end of the week, but it still tries to hang on actually even to next weekend before it finally gets shoved out the way by the Atlantic next weekend. But this is 192 hours away, so it does look unsettled. This is Sunday the 3rd of March, it's a week tomorrow. It does look genuinely unsettled. But this true breakdown of the high pressure is around a week to a little bit more or so away. Until this comes into around days 5, 6, I think again we just need to stay cautious due to the pure persistence of high pressure over the past few months. Are these models breaking down that high pressure too quickly? Certainly the GFS operational run has us wet and windy by a week tomorrow, Sunday the 3rd of March, as we get into day 10. Obviously we're looking very, very unsettled then with low pressure to the north of Scotland. It's not long into extended range though before we start to try and build the ridge back up from the southwest again. This is Wednesday the 6th of March, and here comes this little ridge, little extension from the Azores high once again. That doesn't hang around very long, it's soon squashed out of the way as we finish the GFS 6 o'clock run on an unsettled note. Monday the 11th of March still dominated by low pressure, but all in all the fact that we're delaying the breakdown to this unsettled weather a little bit, and then the fact that after a couple of unsettled days we're trying to build the Azores high back in again, does make me question just how much of a breakdown we're going to get here. Let's wait and see, but I'm just questioning how much of a breakdown to this high pressure we get in the end. This is the parallel GFS run. The parallel GFS run will become the main operational GFS quite soon now. I think it's going to be from around the 20th of March, so we've not got too long to wait before the parallel becomes our main operational GFS run. So we start on Tuesday. And again, we're dominated by high pressure, sitting across central parts of Europe, dry and warm. We go into the end of the coming week. High pressure is declining, yes, but it is still ridging close to the UK to the end of next week. It's not till next weekend that we finally squash that high pressure out the way and start to turn things more unsettled with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, taking us into what looks like a very unsettled and quite cool spell of weather up to day 10. This is Tuesday the 5th of March. Low pressure to the northeast of Scotland. Got strong west to northwesterly winds. Quite cold winds as well. The air is originating from the North Atlantic, so that's a big drop in temperature there on the parallel GFS, and it will bring showers along with spells of rain through as well. We have a go at building another little extension from the Azores high, but that doesn't come to much, and we go into quite an unsettled spell up to the end of a parallel GFS on Monday the 11th of March. We're still looking pretty unsettled with fairly strong winds and showers all along with spells of rain. ECMWF, again, there's that big ridge bringing dry and warm weather through the early part of next week. The high pressure's only slowly pushed out of the way, but maybe a little bit quicker with the ECM compared to the GFS in getting that high pressure out the way. So as soon as early as sort of Friday, Saturday, it is looking quite unsettled. Low pressure's heading in off the Atlantic, and that takes into up towards day 10, where we actually generate quite a storm to the north of Scotland. That brings severe gales to Scotland, and probably will be a named storm if it came off. It looks very unsettled there as we get to day 10, which is Tuesday the 5th of March. Low pressure to the north of Scotland is bringing showers or longer spells of rain. Probably quite chilly, but I would suspect those showers would turn wintry in the north. The wind is coming from the northern part of the Atlantic Ocean. So a big change on the ECM. We saw it on the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts from the Penn State University that the ECM is the more unsettled of the two models at day 10. That really does look very unsettled indeed. These are the options that are on the table with the ECM ensembles at day 10. 5th of March from the Icelandic Met Office. So we've got 3 options on the table. We've got 25, which is nearly 50% of the ECM ensembles, but are very unsettled. They have this deep area of below average heights, low pressure over to the west of the UK. They're bringing the jet stream through. They include the operational and control members of the ECM ensembles. So those are really, really unsettled ECM ensemble members. We've got another 18 that are also unsettled with below average heights, but just a little bit more out to the west of us. So these are still bringing the winds in off the Atlantic. They're still cooler than we've been used to up to this point. They'd still be bringing showers along as spells of rain in off the Atlantic, but not quite as unsettled as these 25 that we see just here. And then there's a minority option 8 that has the low pressure kind of like centred down to our southwest a bit, and they are building a bit of a Scandinavian high. So these ones are trying to bring the wind up from a southeast direction. They could be quite warm and fairly unsettled, but they're a minority option of 8. It looks like the ECM ensembles are generally on the unsettled, a relatively cool side at day 10. 2 weeks away, these are the options that are on the table. This is for the 10th of March, so it includes the control just here. We've got 25 ECM ensemble members with low pressure out to the northwest of the country, so still unsettled, but the jet stream is starting to rise a bit further northwards, just starting to raise heights down to our southwest perhaps. So they're still unsettled, but they're probably starting to get a little bit of ridging coming into the south, perhaps drying things out a bit there. There's 14 ensemble members with low pressure crashing in from off the Atlantic, so they're just really unsettled indeed. And then there's 12 that have low pressure or below average heights to the east-northeast of us. Those are unsettled too, but they're a bit colder. They'll be bringing the winds in from a northwesterly direction from the northern Atlantic, Greenland, that sort of area. Overall, the ECM ensembles are looking unsettled from days 10 through to 14, I have to say. Finally, CFSV2. These are 500 millibar heights broken down into week periods. The first week period will take us from the 23rd of February to the 1st of March. Above average heights centred over country in the week ahead. Below average heights in the middle of the Atlantic. We're on the warm side of the jet stream. We're under a ridge of high pressure. That looks pretty dry and very warm temperatures indeed. Winter is digging in across the east and the southeast of Europe, by the way, with this trough of low pressure just here. That would be bringing cold winds in from a north or northeasterly direction into that southeast corner. But for us, we're under this ridge and we're pulling up very warm air from the south or the southwest. So dry and warm in the week ahead. We get through to week 2, which is going to be the 2nd to the 8th of March. Now, still a bit of an influence from high pressure. This is when we're supposed to be getting to break down to more unsettled conditions. But what the CFS is doing today, it still has this area of above average heights quite close to us. It has drifted a little bit further eastwards, but it's like Central Europe, so the low pressure in the Atlantic isn't getting that close to us actually. The jet stream is going off up there. Yes, it might be a little bit more unsettled there from the 2nd to the 8th of March, but that basically still looks like most of the country has influence from high pressure, to be honest. So again, just how quickly and how much we're going to get rid of this high pressure does remain to be seen. Now, by the time we get through to week 3, which is the 9th to the 15th of March, we have pushed the Atlantic in. So we've got low pressure then out to the northwest of Scotland, and we're bringing in an Atlantic flow like that. So that is a little bit cooler, and it is unsettled as well. But this is pushed back now. This is pushed back to the 9th to the 15th of March, whereas initially this unsettled spell was supposed to be like the first week of March. If this keeps getting pushed back, obviously we will never get to an unsettled spell of weather. And it's only a temporary unsettled spell either, as well as what the CFS is showing, because this is week 4, 16th to the 22nd of March. The below average heights are then starting to lift out towards Greenland and Iceland as the above average heights are strengthening across Central and Northern Europe again. And that's pushing the jet stream off up there. That would return us back to a very mild or warm southerly to southwesterly flow. And with ridge of high pressure, it will still be delivering a lot of dry weather too, or it will bring back dry weather. So once again, how much we break down this ridge of high pressure, how unsettled it gets, and how long those unsettled conditions last are still open to question. I think we probably will get a spell of unsettled weather in around a week or so's time, in days sort of 7, 8, 9, 10. Might run up to day 14, but I've got a feeling, even if it does turn unsettled, it probably isn't going to be long before we're building this high pressure back up. And my suspicion is that for March, we could be in for another pretty dry and warm month overall. But that's just my guess. I could be wrong about that. But all the signs I'm seeing in model output today, it's all looking a bit flimsy, I have to say, about this breakdown of the read. So let's wait and see. Right, that's it for your videos for today. Tomorrow, we're going to start off with the final analogues update for the spring of 2019. So we did the final seasonal model roundup today. Final analogues update will be with you tomorrow. And we'll also have the Gazov is Sunny roundup as well. We'll probably do one last Ensembles Watch for this winter season tomorrow evening. And then I think we'll probably rest Ensembles Watch until next winter. Right, so that's it for your videos for today. Come back for tomorrow's updates. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.